here we go. Take a deep breath. We're going to do a super complex fraction. And what makes this so complex, it doesn't look that bad when you first glance at it, but note the negative exponents, okay? And you can't have negative exponents in a complex fraction. So before you do anything, you want to adjust. So remind yourself this is really 1 over x squared, and this is really 1 over x minus 1. Okay, so that's where I'm going to start. I'm just literally going to rewrite those. So x squared is really 1 over x squared, or x to the negative second is 1 over x squared. And that's still plus 3 over x. And then my denominator is 4 divided by 1 over x minus 1 plus 2. Okay, so again, all I did was change this to 1 over x squared and this to 1 over x minus 1. Now you can see it's much bigger. So you can start by, well, I can add these together, I can add these together. I can't add these together until I do this one. So I'm going to start here. Okay, notice this is, in fact, I'm going to write this 1 over 1. I'm going to make this 2 over 1 just so you can see that maybe a little better. So the common denominator between these two would have to be x squared. So if I multiply this one by x squared, the denominator, I have to multiply the numerator also by x squared. So that will change to 2 over 1 plus x squared all over x squared, and still plus 3 over x. So again, I found a common denominator, then I can add those, 1 plus x squared, and put it over my common denominator. Okay, then my denominator, I'm going to add these two together. So right now, they're factored out, and their LCD, their common denominator, would have to be x minus 1. So I'm going to multiply both the top and the bottom to balance out by x minus 1. And this would really be 2x minus 2, but then plus 1, since they now have a common denominator. So 2x minus 2 plus 1 is really 2x minus 1. And that, of course, is 4 still over that. So let's see, I said 2x minus 1 over x minus 1. Okay, and I'll stop and pause the video if you need to digest what's going on. So now I have, this is really, in fact, I might add, that's a 4 over 1. Not that you need that. So I have a fraction divided by a fraction, so I could adjust this. Here I have a fraction over a fraction that I have to adjust before I can add these. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so that'll be my next step. So I'm going to change this to 2 times the reciprocal of that. So 2 times the reciprocal would be times x squared over 1 plus x squared. And I'll come to the denominator in a second. So of course that's just 2x squared over 1 plus x squared. So again, I can multiply straight across is where that came from. Okay, then looking at my denominator, I'm going to take this times the reciprocal of that also. So 4 times the reciprocal would be times x minus 1 over 2x minus 1. And if I simplify that, that's going to be 4x. Actually, I won't simplify it yet, just in case something cancels out in the end. So 4 times x minus 1 over 2x minus 1. And again, pause the video and make sure that all of those pieces kind of make sense at this point. And now we have these fractions that need to be added together. We want to end up with 1 fraction over 1 fraction. So this is good, but we got to add these together. So nothing factors in either of the denominators, so the common denominator would be 1 plus x squared times x. So this one needs to multiply times x, and this one needs to multiply times 1 plus x squared. Alright, so this is going to get kind of messy here. So I'll come down here, so I'm going to have 2x cubed when I multiply these together, plus 3 plus 3x squared when I distribute that through, right? 3 plus 3x squared, and then it's all over that common denominator, which is x times 1 plus x squared, or you can distribute that through if you want. And that's all over 4 times x minus 1 times 2x minus 1. And finally, I have one fraction divided by one fraction, so I can take this one and multiply by the reciprocal, so that will be my next step. So 2x cubed plus 3x squared plus 3, I'll put it in standard form, divided by x times 1 plus x squared, multiply by the reciprocal, so 2x minus 1, divided by 4 times x minus 1. And let's see, does anything cancel out? Of course not. So we did all that work and nothing cancels at the end, but that's sometimes how it works. This doesn't factor, of course, but if it did, you would factor that out in case it canceled out with something down here. So that is my answer.